Hardly welcome to all of you on our YouTube channel CS Ansar. I am speaking Stella from the CS Ansar. Today we are going to talk about very interesting topic which is email communication. For that we have our guest is the CA Mitika ma'am. Thank you so much ma'am to joining us and also giving your valuable time. Before we begin, I request to all of you those who are watching us to subscribe our YouTube channel and do not forget to like, share and comment. Now ma'am, I would like to invite you to share the thoughts on the today topic.
Thank you so much, Stella, and wishing everyone a very happy and blissful new year as well. So, today we are talking about a very important thing, that is how do we align our digital conversations. Here we are talking about today on the email communications and the communications which we do via WhatsApp. So, today we'll be covering these two topics. So, let's begin our business communications which are aligned to with our digital conversations. So, first and foremost, what is business communication? As we all know, business communication means it is the exchange of information within and outside the organization. It can be verbal, it can be written, and it can be non-verbal. And it aims to achieve the business goals effectively. Always remember that communication is the effect it creates. So we should always try to say the right thing in the right manner with the right tone and at to the right person. That means communication, as we all know, we have a sender, we have a receiver, we have a mean, and we have the most important thing, which is the message. So the sender sends the information via a channel to the receiver. So whenever we are conversing on any part, we should always be very clear what we want to convey. So when we talk about the business communication, we are exchanging the information within and outside the organization. And what is the importance of it? Very simple. It builds professional relationships, it reduces misunderstandings, errors, it improves productivity, teamwork, supports decision making, and leadership. So, whenever we are conversing on the business point of view, we should always remember the seven C's of communication. I hope we all are familiar, but let's have a quick recap of it. The first C stands for clear. The communication must be clear. The communication must be concise. The second C, the communication must be complete. The third C. The fourth C we have is the communication must be concrete. This means it should be backed up with all the facts and figures. It should be correct. The fifth one. The sixth one is we should always be considerate about the receiver for whom we are communicating. And lastly, the communication must be courteous, which means we should always be very careful and polite yet professional whenever we are conversing with our peers, with our juniors, or with our clients. So, let's talk about the communications via email. Before we begin the hard and fast rules and points to talk about, let's have a recap of what type of communications which we do via an email. Let's take an example of a poorly drafted email. The email reads as subject, it says urgent. Hi, I already told you about this earlier. Also, but still nothing is done. The report was supposed to be sent long time back, and because of this everything is getting delayed. This is very unprofessional and creating issues for everyone. Please do the needful ASAP and send it immediately. Thanks. Now, why is it a poorly drafted email? What's wrong? First, it is the vague subject line. Second, there is no recipient mentioned in the email. Third, it is an emotional and with an accusatory tone. Next, there is no clear line of action or a deadline. It has a poor sentence structure, as well as there are very unprofessional phrases in it which says long time back, do the needful ASAP, please do the needful ASAP and send it to me accordingly. Then how should we actually write an email? Let's rewrite this email in a professional way. Now we have replaced our subject urgent with the subject line says immediate action is required. Why? Because there is a pending report submission. So now we also address the receiver, dear XYZ. This is a follow up email regarding the report that was due earlier and is still awaited. The delay is now impacting the project lines and dependent deliverables. Please share the complete report by a specific date and a time without any further delay. In case there are any issues preventing the completion, kindly inform me immediately with the revised timeline. Your prompt action to this matter is required. Regards. Now, do we see any difference in the previous email and this email? Let's analyze. Now, why is this a very firm yet a very professional email? Let's analyze our pointers. First, it uses immediate action is required in the subject line itself, whereas our previous message said subject is only urgent. But what was the urgency? With what respect? That was not conveyed. But here, this email clearly specifies what was the immediate action required with respect to the pending report submission. Next, it states the impact clearly. Now, what was the impact? It says the delay is now impacting the project timelines and dependent deliverables. Next, it sets a specific deadline. It gives a specific date and a time when that report is supposed to be submitted. There is no vagueness in the email. Next, it uses an assertive language, but it does not blame anyone, as with respect to our previous email, which was actually emotional and accusatory in tone. Next, it leaves room for explanation, but it does not give any room for excuses. Let's understand how. The email reads as, in the case there are any issues preventing completion, kindly inform me immediately with a revised timeline. So we do not give any room for excuses, but yes, we always leave a room for explanation in case the things go in the other way around. So now let's understand the key pointers whenever we are drafting an email. Always remember that emails must be clear. Now, what does that clear means? The 5 points. CLEAR. With clear, we should always be understanding that it must have a clear subject line. L represents logical structure. E represents it must be easy to read. A represents it must be action oriented. And R stands for respectful and professional tone. The 7 C's of communication, whether it is verbal communication, written communication, non-verbal communication, as well as the digital communications, we should always be following the 7 C's, which we have just discussed in the beginning of the presentation. So let's come back quickly to the emails. The first C stands for the clear subject line. Always remember that the subject line decides whether the email is going to be open or the recipient is going to ignore the email. So what is the best practice of writing an email subject is the email subject must be in 5 to 7 words. It must always be including the person, the purpose, the action required to be specific, and always please remember to avoid any of the generic words like update, urgency, high, important. Let's take an example. In the subject line, it says update on report. Let's replace it with required colon project timeline approval. See, a very nicely drafted subject line in itself. Now let's understand the second part, which says the logical structure. Always remember that we should break our email into 4 specific parts. First is the opening of the email, the second is the body of the email, the third is the action required, and the fourth is the closing line. Always remember that we should have be able to scan the emails in 10 seconds, be it the opening, the body, the action, and the closing. As already said, the subject lines and the logical structure determines whether the further prompt actions would be taken by the receiver or not. Let's come to the E, that is, it should be easy to read. With this, we mean there should be short paragraphs, simple sentences, bullet points for clarity, and always highlight if there are any deadlines or any actions which are required to be taken. Now, let's talk about the A in clear, which represents the action oriented. So, always remember that we don't write business emails casually, they are always purpose driven. So, whatever is the outcome, we should clearly specify the action required, the person who is responsible, and deadlines if there are any. Now let's come to the last part of clear. That means it should be respectful and professional tone. This means always be courteous whenever you're writing your emails. Be polite, be confident, avoid any emotional language, and always focus on solution rather than the blames, as we have seen in our previous example. Now let's take a very small example here. It says, you have not sent the report yet. Very accusatory at the in the tone. So let's replace it with, this is a gentle reminder regarding the reports scheduled for today. See, we can analyze the difference. So always remember, the emails must be clear. Now, what are our common workplace email scenarios? We write emails to request for approvals, the follow-up emails, the escalation emails, client communications, and the apology or the clarification emails. Always remember that emails are not just for the regular follow-ups, but also for conveying at times the negative impacts. So, what are these? We should be very cautious whenever we are drafting a negative email. But rather than saying negative, we replace it with the assertive emails. But assertive emails must also be written with professional tone and being confident, at the same time avoid being accusatory. The next thing which we should always remember while we are writing the emails is, clear emails save time and improve productivity. We just now discussed that the reader must be able to scan the emails within 10 seconds, the 10-second rule. Next, emails must always have a structure as well as the clarity. This means, as we have discussed the A part, which says it should be action oriented. Always remember, structure plus clarity is effective communication. Now, always ask the actions which are required to be taken. Now, let's come to what are the do's and the don'ts with respect to the email communication. Always proofread your emails before sending. Always use professional greetings, even if you are sending an email to your peer or to a junior. At the same time, always write the CCs only to the relevant people. Avoid CC BCC overload. So again, what are the don'ts? We should not use the all caps in the email. At the same time, avoid writing your emotional emails. Emails are highly professional way of communicating in the digital world. So avoid any type of emotional baggage being poured on it. Now let's talk about the golden rules of writing email. Always remember, one email must serve with the one purpose. Next, if we are writing a lengthy email with respect to the opening, body, action, and closing of the email, always remember it should be provided within a screen. Single screen is the ideal length for writing an email. As already said, whenever we are sending an email, we should always proofread it. Next, avoid your CC overload, and very important, check for your attachments before sending. Nowadays we get a pop-up, but still if there is any attachment to be made, it is preferable to attach your attachments beforehand, before we start writing the email. And what should be the last? We should always include the sender's address, ECC or BCC, at the last point. It should be our last step of sending the email. Now, let's understand a very, very important point, and always remember, write emails that respect the reader's time and drive action. I hope this gives us a clear idea how do we write about the emails and the overall myths and busts and the techniques to write the email communications. Now, after email communications, it is very important to address the business communication as through WhatsApp. Why? See, at present, even in the litigation cases, WhatsApp evidences has been accepted. So, WhatsApp is casual, but it is a formal way of communication. Though WhatsApp is a casual way, but we should always maintain our business communications properly even when we are conversing over the WhatsApp. So let's take few examples as we did in the email section. Then we will have a professional rewrite for them. Let's see. The first example we have, oh, Done. Now we just got a simple message. It reads as done question mark. What's wrong here? Let's analyze. It is a very vague and confusing message. There is no context, there is no subject, there is no clarity on what is to be done. How should we replace it? What is a professional rewrite? We can replace it as hi Anu, has the client presentation be completed? Please confirmation the status. Next it says, bro, please send the file ASAP and with an emoji we get it. Oh, this is not the way how do we write in a professional scenario. Let's analyze what's wrong here. It is too casual and unprofessional. Use of slangs, use of emojis, use of unclear file name, unprofessional tone. So avoid using such. What is a professional rewrite for this? We can address the receiver. Hi Raj, could you please share the final audit file at your convenience today? There is no bros in the business communication. That is completely casual. Avoid using casual terminologies whenever we are writing a professional message, even it is on the WhatsApp. The next example we have is why is it not done yet? Question mark, question mark, question mark, question mark, and it goes beyond. What wrong here? It is an aggressive and emotional message. At the same time, the entire content is written in all caps form. It is an emotional message, and it sounds rude and threatening. Why is it not done yet? Very, very aggressive. Now, how we be assertive? Hi Nidhi, I'm following up on the pending task. Could you please share an update on the status? See, the same thing said in a different manner with a different tonality makes a huge difference. So always remember, as we had it at the beginning of the session, which said communication is the impact it creates. So always create your impacts perfectly. Next, it's a bit long one. The message says, hi sir, actually I was thinking that maybe if possible we can change the meeting timing because some people are not available and also client has some issue, so please see and confirm what to do. And in turn sends this message to the partner. The partner will have to analyze it again and again. So what is a better way to write it? Let's analyze what's wrong here. It's a very long paragraph and hard to read as it was having the difficulty with me as well. One long sentence, unclear action, and there is no structure in this message. How do we replace it? First, the salutation. Always remember to address your receiver. Good morning, sir. Due to limited availability and on client's request, may we reschedule the meeting? And then we give it in a pointer. What is our proposed timing? That says 3 p.m. today. And please advise. Small changes always make huge impacts. So always remember whenever we are writing the messages, even on the WhatsApp, to stay professional. Now let's talk about another example. It's 11:45 p.m. and the message just reads at, please send the report now. What's wrong here? Yes, definitely. The timing is not correct here. The timing is not good. There is a boundary issue. There is no acknowledgement of after hour messagings. See, it is very critical to send messages even sometimes at the off hours. But is it 100% which is not to be done? No. But whenever we are sending such messages, we should be very courteous. At the same time, let's see. Apologies for the late message. This is urgent. Could you please share the report first thing tomorrow morning? See, we first acknowledge the boundary that we are sending it on an improper time. But at the same time, since it was urgent, we wanted the report. So it should be shared as the first thing in the morning. See, the tonality changes a lot of things. Next, very popularly used okay and with an emoji of a thumbs up. What's this? Okay for what? Why this emoji? Now, what's wrong here? It's a group message misuse. We don't understand what value it is adding to the message. Is it okay? Is it comfortability? What is it? What is a professional rewrite for this? Let's analyze. It says, noted, I will proceed as discussed only if response adds value, otherwise, avoid replying. We got a very, very, very long 2 minutes voice note. What's wrong? Voice note without context, and it is too long. It has no summary, and it uses a lot of time, waste a lot of time. So what should we do? If we have something longer to be sent, we should always say hi, sharing a brief voice note regarding the vendor clarification, for example. And what is the purpose of sending that audio note is the please confirm the approval by today. So if we are forwarding any recording as it is, of any recorded form of any recorded person, so even if it's a long one, so always address what issue you are trying to make in it, what is the ultimate outcome which is required. Very popularly used nowadays, please do the needful in a single 3-4 worded sentence. Now, what's wrong here? There is incomplete instruction, there is no clear task, no deadline or responsibility. We had discussed this in elaboration in the email section as well. So, how do we professionally rewrite this message? Please review the draft agreement and share your approval by 5 p.m. today. Now, let's concise all the points and tick our boxes. Always remember, whenever we are conversing, even on WhatsApp, it is not casual in business. We should always be professional even when we are messaging via WhatsApp. Since it is fast, it is an inevitable way of communication in the digital world. So always stay professional. Now, let's understand the clear messaging technique over WhatsApp. As we had the clear messaging for emails, we also have clear messages for the WhatsApp. So, what does clear stands with respect to WhatsApp? It is clear. First, C stands for clear and concise. Next is language and tone. Third is etiquettes and timing. Fourth, as it was in the email, action confirmation. And lastly, respectfulness and the professional tone. Let's dig in one by one. First, it says clear and concise. As we have already discussed in the example, the fourth one, which we had, the, the long sentences must be avoided. So always keep it to your short sentences. Line breaks must be there. Always highlight any time and action which is required. Let's say, for example, we have kept it here. Hi Raj, the review meeting is rescheduled to 11 a.m. today. Please confirm availability. That's how we write a clear and concise message on the WhatsApp. Next, the language and the tone. Always remember polite and professional. Avoid using any slangs, any sarcasm, or any excessive emojis. And always use the greetings and sign offs whenever they are required. Next, the E in the clear section is the etiquette. Always respect the working hour. Like say we had a previous example in which we discussed, even if we have any late hours messages which needs to be delivered, which needs to be sent, we should always respect the boundaries and acknowledge that we are sending it on the off hours. And if at the same time this is an urgent message, that's how it is being conveyed. And avoid any repeated follow-ups for the same. Then, obviously, the action confirmation, close the loop, don't keep it open, especially with respect to the group messages, and always seek confirmation or response. Like, for example, kindly confirm once you have received the message. So, it gives us enough acknowledgement that the person has read the message. Just don't wait for that tick to get blue or still it is green. So, don't keep in that loop. Just come out of it, ask for confirmations. And finally, be respectful and professional whenever you are sending any WhatsApp messages. Polite, confident, neutral. At the same time, avoid any emotional language and stop using non standard abbreviations. Don't create like the Gen Z fever. So, we should avoid it at, while we are doing the business communications. Now, always remember that WhatsApp is a double sided sword. What makes me say this? Because it is fast, but it is not casual. It is an inevitable mean of communication. Nowadays people are so dependent on WhatsApp and these digital media messages that text message is phasing out. So whenever we are using the WhatsApp messaging platform, always remember that it is an informal platform, but the impact it creates would always be a formal impact. The messages are instant and permanent. Next, it has very high risk of misinterpretation. So whenever we are conversing via WhatsApp, Always remember to close your loops. Don't give any open ended conversations. Seek for validations, confirmations if required, and always use the greetings and sign offs whenever there is any requirement. And most importantly, it has a direct effect on professionalism and relationship. Don't use WhatsApp as mere a message of sending the information. It is a business communication digital tool. Always remember. Next, what are the key takeaways? As enough said, WhatsApp is a professional tool at work. It should be clear, the messages must be concise and respectful, and it must build credibility. And when in doubt, whenever there are longer messages, whenever you are asking for multiple things in the same time, it is always preferable to shift to email or a call. Don't flood the other person with the messages on the WhatsApp. It is, if you have multiple things to be said, if you have multiple things to be conveyed, always switch over to the other modes of communication. That is, it may be email or it can be calls. Now, when to use and when not to use WhatsApp at work. Let's analyze. First, whenever we have any quick updates or reminders to be sent, we can use it via the WhatsApp for any urgent meeting confirmations, urgent coordinations, for any simple clarifications to be given, that can be done on the WhatsApp. What are the inappropriate uses? Like already said, sorry, for any detailed explanation, WhatsApp should be avoided. For any performance feedback, longer conversations, for any conflict discussions, or for any sensitive or confidential matter, we should avoid using WhatsApp. Now let's talk about the golden rules of WhatsApp communication as we did for the emails. Always remember, as we said in the emails as well, avoid using it in all caps. Second, stop avoiding emotional messages. Third, avoid overusing your groups. These are strictly professional. Stick to it. And lastly, stop sharing any unverified information. It is better to stay silent than to spread vagueness. And always remember, professionalism is not the platform we use, but it is in how we use that particular platform. So, with this, I conclude my presentation on the email and WhatsApp communication. But always remember, the way you communicate determines the way you are perceived. So, communicate professionally and be perceived professionally. Thank you so much for your valuable time. See you again in the next part of the business communications. Over to you, Stella.
Very wonderful and very well you explain the step by step the topic, ma'am. And
Thank you
hope
so
those
much.
are watching they understood very well. And if you guys having the any doubts, so you guys can drop the question in the comment section and definitely we will reply you. By the soon we
Yeah.
will continue the part two. In the part two we will discuss about the business communication. So thank you so much, ma'am, again to giving your valuable time and also joining us.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Pleasure is all mine. Looking forward for the further sessions. All of you. Let's connect further.
Thank you, ma'am.